Hello everyone, today we are breaking down Season 3, Episode 1, Shaerrawedd of The Witcher, but before that, remember to like the video, helps out the channel a lot, and subscribe, and yada yada yada, let's get to it. The first thing we see is a few men entering a shop. They are looking for an ashen-haired girl with a Witcher escorting her. So they are looking for Ciri and Geralt. They say Rience will compensate the shopkeeper for any info he has on them. So Rience was the one last season who was looking for Ciri, and as you can see, he still is, but has a bigger budget. He is hiring goons to handle some of the dirty work. So whoever Rience is working for must know that the rest of the continent is now basically after Ciri as well, and has increased his efforts because of it. The men hear a noise out back. They find Geralt with his sword out. Geralt takes care of the men rather easily, killing them all. We are now with Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer on horseback. The trio left Kaer Morhen and now have basically been on the run ever since, trying to be a few steps ahead of Rience and the others who have been trying to capture Ciri. We see them rent or buy a small house to live in. Geralt and Ciri enter, but Geralt stops Yen from entering and gestures her to go to the small shack next to the main house. You have to remember, Yennefer kidnapped Ciri last season and was willing to basically kill her to get her magic back. Geralt, being like a father to Ciri, has a bit of a problem with that and still does not trust Yennefer entirely. The reason why Yennefer is even here is to teach Ciri to control her powers, to control chaos. Yennefer is leaving notes to Geralt giving updates on Ciri's progress, so it seems that Geralt isn't even talking to Yen at this moment. She starts each letter with "Dear Friend," which is a reference to the books, where Geralt wrote a letter to Yennefer and called her Dear Friend. Yennefer was very annoyed about this letter and wrote a very sarcastic letter back, using the term many times. It is a very memorable chapter and very funny. In this, it's much more solemn, but nevertheless, I like the reference. We then see Yen and Ciri doing some mage training when Geralt sees a group of men a few miles away heading towards them. He assumes it is one of the groups looking for Ciri, and the trio leaves before they get there. The trio finds a new home. They look to have traveled pretty far. The last one was in a desert climate. This one seems to be a bit milder. And once again, same rules, Yennefer is in a different room. But this time it looked like Geralt wanted to invite Yennefer into the main living quarters. So there has been progress between the two. We get a scene of Ciri and Geralt coming back from a hunt. They're playing around, Ciri jumps on Geralt's back. I was afraid since they aged Ciri up, we wouldn't get to see these types of interactions between the two, so to see this really warms my heart. We get a scene of Yennefer teaching Ciri to control chaos, and Yennefer is much nicer in this version compared to the books. In the books, she teaches much more like Tissaia de Vries, her teacher, constantly being rude and calling Ciri an ugly duckling. Geralt sees some villagers on the mountainside and insists they leave again. He would rather be safe than sorry. The group seems to be even further north. It is snowing. It also could just be that time of year. They are staying at Yarpen Zegrin's house, an old friend of Geralt and Yennefer's. He was along for the dragon hunt in Season 1. We get a scene of Ciri and Yennefer ice skating. This is a reference to the games actually. They were going to have a thing with Ciri where you fought people off while ice skating, so this is a nice little Easter egg. Yennefer comes over for dinner for the first time. Then they have a little montage of them being like a real family, goofing around, making dinner together. We also see from the first shot, Ciri sat in the middle. By the end, Yennefer was sitting in the middle and scooching closer and closer to Geralt. Ciri then leaves the two alone. There's a long, awkward pause, and then Yennefer leaves to go to bed. So they are getting closer to where they were at before, but Geralt still can't fully trust her after what she did. But I think he wants to trust her. But there's that fear of being hurt again. Yarpen has returned to give supplies to the trio. He speaks about the squirrels attacking human convoys. These are elven rebels wanting to find a place of refuge. Many believe they are fighting for Nilfgaard. This isn't exactly true, but their goals somewhat align right now, so they are kind of allies. Yarpen asks Geralt and Yen if they're banging again, to which we don't get an answer, but I'm pretty sure it's no for now. We find out it is spring, so the trio has been together almost a year at this point, I would say. Yarpen mentions the Beltane festival and invites them to go. Geralt and Yen don't think it's safe, but Ciri would like to go. Also, she says she was born on Beltane, so it would be to celebrate her birthday. Geralt begrudgingly agrees to go. In the next scene, we see two men feeding some creatures. We find out one of the creatures is trained to smell elven kind a mile away, which is perfect for Rience, who portals in. Ciri has elven blood, and he has some of Ciri's blood. You may recall last season that he took a vial of it when he was at Kaer Morhen looking for her, so this is very convenient for him. We are now at a Scoil Tel camp. This is the rebel group of elves that I mentioned earlier. We are with Francesca, her brother Gage, and Filavandrel. They are still looking for Ciri, but Filavandrel has his doubts. If you recall, Istredd is the one who told them about Ciri, and after he told them, he left right away. Filavandrel does not want to waste manpower on a wild goose chase of a man they barely know, but Francesca is stubborn and believes this is their only hope to find Ciri. The elves' goal is to find Dol Balantha, which you may remember is from season 1 of The Witcher. It is where Geralt and Jaskier first meet. It is a location, but they're using it more as it's just a place of refuge, a place where elves can be safe and be in peace. Francesca has not told all the elves about Ciri and her elder blood, so some are losing their faith in her. One in particular is Gallatin. He wants to know why she is sending fighters on secret missions, but she won't say. We know it's because of Ciri. Francesca does not seem to want any human involvement at all anymore. She wants to kill the whole lot. Gallatin, on the other hand, knows that if Nilfgaard defeats the Northern Kingdoms, the elves are free. But Francesca points out that trying to live with humans didn't work out the first time. Why would it work out now? We're now at Redania with King Vizimir, Dijkstra, and Philippa Eilhart. Vizimir is not happy with Dijkstra. He has not found where Ciri is yet. You have to remember that Ciri is the heir to Cintra. So if King Vizimir would marry her, he would be able to basically double the size of his kingdom. Vizimir has decided to put his best man on the job, he says, and calls for his younger brother Prince Radovid to help. In the next scene, we get Philippa and Dijkstra discussing what transpired. They are not happy about this. They both think Radovid is a bit of a putz, an idiot, but they will do what they have to do. Philippa says she will babysit the prince while he looks for Ciri, but when she gets back, she will be the only one giving orders afterwards. So I'm not sure if she is saying that she plans to get rid of the king, or that Dijkstra won't be able to boss her around anymore. I'm a bit confused about the line. We are back with Geralt and Ciri. Ciri is getting ready for the festival. She has a dress on and is ready to go. Geralt tells her to cover her eyes and her hair. Those are very distinct features of hers that could get her caught. Ciri gets mad because Geralt couldn't just say that she looked lovely. Now, to be fair, Geralt is in dad mode. It's hard to turn that off. Yennefer comes in and Geralt looks like he has been hit with a rock. Like his heart skipped a beat. He tells Yennefer she looks lovely. Yennefer is wearing a very similar outfit to what she wore when the two first met. So this is bringing back a lot of fond memories for Geralt and helping rekindle that fire for one another. The three are at the festival, and to be honest, Yennefer and Ciri look too dressed up for it, and Geralt looks like a homeless person with his hood up. Ciri goes dancing, and Yennefer and Geralt reminisce. We find out that it's Yennefer's birthday as well, so that's a cool little nugget of info. The two talk about the many nights they spent with one another and how amazing they were, but in the morning, one of them would be gone. Yennefer says she knows why she left, but why did Geralt? Geralt was unsure if he wanted to be in that kind of relationship. He was scared. I think they both were. That's why they kept leaving one another. They didn't want to be the one who got hurt. The three go into the maze. The Jackapace finds Ciri. Now, the Jackapace is a new creature for the show. I'm guessing it's from the insectoid family. It has a hard back shell that you wouldn't be able to penetrate, but a soft belly where you can stab at. Its main attack is that it can roll at a fast speed, running over opponents. Rience needs Ciri alive, so he's really banking on the fact that Geralt is here to protect her. Geralt and Yennefer dispatch the creature pretty quickly. They return to their cabin. Geralt says they will find another home. Ciri and Yennefer both seem pretty bummed to hear this. They all became very close during this time here and became a family. Geralt figures out that Rience must have gotten a hold of a Jackapace and used Ciri's blood to track her here. So wherever they go, he will find the trio eventually since he has her blood. So they have to take care of him first if they want to be safe. So they're going to set a trap for Rience and draw him in using Ciri as bait. Basically what they're going to do is have Yarpen transport Ciri, and they want him to complain about it at a local inn. Word then would reach Rience that Ciri is traveling alone. Though she won't be alone, Geralt and Yennefer will be there as well, waiting for Rience to strike. And to make the whole thing believable, because they wouldn't let Ciri travel alone, they're going to have Jaskier escort her. We now find ourselves with Jaskier. A woman is throwing his belongings out a window because he cheated on her. This whole bit is actually from the books. The actor who played Jaskier actually insisted this story be included, or at least this section, which, good on him. While he is having his lover's quarrel, Philippa appears behind him. Philippa wants info on Ciri's whereabouts. You have to remember that Dijkstra and her were the ones who were funding Jaskier's operation to smuggle elves out of the northern kingdoms. Now they want repayment. They know Jaskier knows, or at least can find out where Ciri is. But Jaskier knows they want to marry Ciri off to Vizimir, which isn't a great fate either. Radovid comes in and talks to Jaskier. He would be a good cop to Philippa's bad cop. He says that Ciri has enemies everywhere. And Redania isn't really a bad place, and Vizimir isn't a bad person. There are far worse options for her, and at least there, she'll be safe. Philippa is quite impressed with Radovid on how he is playing Jaskier. This shows that Radovid isn't just a drunken fool like Dijkstra and Philippa previously thought. Yarpen comes in afterwards to tell Jaskier about the plan to get Rience. Jaskier joins the group and they make camp at Shaerrawedd. Shaerrawedd was an old elven kingdom. They come to a statue of Elrin, an elf who thought she could defeat the humans. We then get a history lesson from Geralt and Yen. After the conjunction of the spheres, the elves and humans shared this realm of existence. The elves thought the humans were nothing more than pests, that they would die off. But they didn't. Their numbers grew since they could reproduce so much quicker than the elves. Elrin rallied the elves here to fight off the humans, but they were too much and they basically doomed the elves. Geralt ends by saying that neutrality won't get you a statue, but it will keep you alive, which at the end of the day is kind of important. We are back with the elves. Francesca is trying to mend the fences with Gallatin, saying they are stronger together. And tomorrow they make their next move and she will be by his side during it. Gallatin is happy to hear this, but Francesca does not say exactly what she has planned yet. We are back at Shaerrawedd. It is the next day. Ciri tells Geralt and Yennefer how she had a dream, and then a thought that maybe she can offer the world something different, that she can unite the elves and the humans because she is part of both of their worlds. She believes that this is why destiny brought the three together, to help her align the continent and make a better future. Geralt, being a Debbie Downer, basically says it is a nice thought, and he doesn't doubt her, but he doubts the world. People will always hate something, it is just the way people are. Not much you can do to change it. Ciri is young. Geralt has been around for over 100 years. He knows how people are. Rience has come for Ciri. Yennefer and Geralt get into their positions. Rience comes with a whole gaggle of people. They surround Ciri. Ciri's able to fight them off for a bit. Then Geralt and Yennefer come out and play, and they start taking out Rience's men. Yarpen and his men join the fray, and they start fighting as well. Rience portals out, but Yennefer keeps the portal open, and Geralt chases him through. Rience starts throwing fire at Geralt, which pins him down. He looks out a window. There looks to be red vines and a castle-like structure. So whoever Rience works for has some money and power. Yarpen and his men have taken care of the rest of Rience's men, but a new threat starts attacking them, the Scoia'tael. So it seems that Francesca has found Ciri. Gallatin is confused. He is wondering where the caravan is. Francesca says that Ciri is all that matters. So it seems that Francesca lied about what they were doing. She was just using him and his men to get Ciri. This is going to make Gallatin very mad and probably not end well for Francesca in the long run. Ciri starts fighting off the elves with Yarpen, and Yennefer continues to hold the portal open so Geralt can get back out. Geralt and Rience start to bare-knuckle box one another. Arrows come through the portal, so Geralt knows something bad is happening at Shaerrawedd. So he breaks Rience's hands and heads back through the portal to fight the elves. He takes out a bunch of them. We see him use the Sign Quen, which is basically a protective bubble that goes around the caster that can deflect blows. We then see him use the Sign Ard, which is a telekinetic thrust that can push enemies backwards. The elves are losing and decide to fall back. Gage grabs Ciri, Geralt stabs him in the back with his sword. Francesca sees this and starts to cry. That is her brother, so makes sense. It is now night, and the trio are talking about what happened and their next course of action. Yennefer wants to take Ciri to Aretuza so Tissaia can help teach her. Yennefer is doing everything she can, but Tissaia is just more experienced at this. Geralt does not want this. Ciri just wants for them to all stay together. Geralt has to find Rience to finish him off, and he does not want the two going with him. So they are splitting up. He's going to trust Yennefer to take care of Ciri. We return to the elves. Francesca is holding her brother's corpse, singing. Gallatin wants to yell at her for lying, but Filavandrel stops him, saying she just lost her brother. Gallatin has had enough. He gets on his horse, and he says he's going to get help from an old friend and rides off into the night. So it seems that Gallatin may be trying to make a power play here, take control of the elves, or maybe getting reinforcements from Nilfgaard. He knows that the girl at Shaerrawedd Francesca wanted was Ciri, so he could tell Nilfgaard about it since they still want Ciri. We are now with Jaskier. He is talking with Philippa and Radovid. He has agreed to give them Ciri if they get rid of Rience. If they can do that, they will earn Ciri's trust and Geralt's, and they will be much more open to the idea. Jaskier knows that they can't keep running, and Redania is a safe place. Ciri will be safe there. It's the best of a bad situation. We return to Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer. They say their farewells. Geralt to find Rience, and Yen and Ciri to Aretuza. As they leave each other, we find out that both left notes for one another. Geralt starts his the same way Yennefer does. He says he's scared, that this is the first time feeling real fear, that he will never see Ciri and Yennefer again, and that the three belong with one another. The last shot we get is of Emperor Amir at Sintra. He is the real father of Ciri. He is burning some paintings, one of him, one of his wife Pavetta, don't know why, and then he keeps the painting of baby Ciri, holding it to his chest. He clearly misses her. And that is the end of Season 3, Episode 1 of The Witcher. What do you think? Leave it down in the comments below. And if you want more Witcher content, please subscribe and like the video. Check out the Twitter link in the description below. And as always, have an awesome day.